I'm Jared Haynes, and this is Rogue Outdoors. Today I'm going to do a review on the Danger Close Armament CZ P10c.
This gun has virtually everything done to it that Danger Close Armament will. It has the signature frame option, brain texturing, and two-tone frame color, top cocking serrations, top port and optics package, throat polish, action enhancement, has a special slide finish. I also purchased a light and Type 2 RMR with it, and the CZ Dawson precision sights. The only thing not from them is the barrel.
That's a little bit about the gun and what it is. Now let's do a little bit of shooting. One thing that's really hard to show is just how quick you can pick up your RMR. So you see that RMR dot that's floating around in there? It is absolutely perfectly on with your front sight post. So when you bring it up, where I find that to be super useful is when you're using one hand. It's really hard sometimes to find that dot, and if you don't have good backup sights, you can have to kind of wiggle around and fish for it, which is all time. And if you're in a heated situation and you have to draw and get onto your target quickly, it's really nice to have those sights that you can rely back on the irons to find it that first time when you're shooting, you know, strong hand or just weak hand only. Let's throw a few more down range. So your grip on the CZ P10c is very ergonomical. Down the back of it, it's along the lines of a Glock. So your bore axis height here is pretty low compared to some other guns, and I'll compare it in just a minute to the Walther. You get a good purchase with this angle right here. You can get your hand up in, and then you can slide right up under the trigger guard as well. So that's pretty comfortable. The other thing to keep in mind is this stippling that's done from Danger Close. They do an extremely good job on as well. So I just threw a few rounds down range, and one thing that needs to be mentioned is this trigger is phenomenal. If you get one of these CZ P10cs, that's one thing I would definitely recommend changing. Whether you go with the Danger Close Armament model or you just buy a stock one, changing the trigger out makes a huge difference. This is the HB Industries trigger that's on the Danger Close CZ P10c. Now this trigger is going to run you about $65. However, it is one of the biggest upgrades that's on this gun. Go ahead and take a look right here at this trigger pull. So we've got take up right here. We're at the wall, and then you just barely pull. Okay, now we're going to let up. That's all out right there, and then back in again. It's a very good trigger. Super smooth, and this flat face on it really gives you a good area to put your finger on there without torquing it. Very smooth and consistent. We're going to pull up onto it, all the way back. There's definitely a lot more slack in it. Now we're against that wall. Okay, now, okay, the reset's fairly close. That's it. So, definitely a lot farther to pull to get to that wall. The actual breakover and reset are fairly close, but in all honesty, that HB trigger that's on the CZ P10c from Danger Close, that is my favorite trigger. That would win out over top of my Walther, and this is what I carry as my duty gun. Locks back. And the other thing that's kind of a small detail, but that I think is pretty cool, is the thing that follows the bullets up, whatever that's called, is a real bright color. It's flashy, but it also really makes it easy when the slide locks back. You immediately recognize that, and you know that you don't have a jam, but that your gun is empty. The only criticism that I have of the Danger Close Armament CZ P10c is the magazine release. So it's an ambidextrous magazine release. However, if you don't get the polished option, which that's the only thing on this gun that wasn't upgraded, is the polished magazine release, it is stiff. If you hit it, let me see if I can get up here a little bit closer and show you. If you hit the magazine release towards the back side, it won't eject the mag. You have to really, really push in on it. You have to get up towards the end, up towards the trigger portion of it, which if you train yourself to do is fine. However, make sure you get that upgrade. It's only about 35 bucks, I believe, and when you're spending this much money on a handgun, that shouldn't even be a question. So that's the one thing that I have as a criticism, is without it, it is a major downfall. Now with it being polished, I would imagine there'd be no big deal. But at the moment, it is stiffer. So let's do that one more time. The size of this grip works really well. I'm able to hit that magazine release, drop out that mag, put the next one in, and then drop the slide using this slide release. It doesn't stick out super far. However, it's big enough that I am able to get my finger on it and drop it with no issues. That is another really nice feature on this CZ that I like. There's a few more shots through it. Paper. Paper. That's it. Overall, I'd say the Danger Close Armament CZ P10c is an awesome gun. Is it worth almost 2,600 bucks once you get the light and the RMR on there? I don't know. That's up to you to decide. It is a beautiful piece of artwork. It's not just a gun. The stippling that they do on this grip is absolutely beautiful. The camo that they run on the grip itself, mixing these colors, and there's other options you can do. You can do blue, you can do solid colors, there's some other different patterns. I think looks really clean, amazing. The milling that they do on this slide and the cuts are very, very well done, high precision. The whole thing runs well, no jams, no issues. Straight out of the box, this thing was shooting great. The sights that you can run, the suppressor height sights, are awesome. So I would give this gun definitely props. I would say if you're looking for something and you have the money to spend on this, you want to buy something that's going to shoot really well, fits well in the hand, you can use it as a concealed carry gun. The CZ P10c is a very good gun for that. And then on top of that, if you want one that's just a piece of artwork, the CZ P10c through Danger Close is thumbs up, amazing. Rerun through this one more time. Even the milling of their logo up on top, I mean, it is just absolutely beautiful how they've machined this out.